Good afternoon, everybody. We are 100 Years Enterprise. We talking about the consequences of the street life, season 4, episode 2. And it's all about history in the making, history building, the things what we do. Oftentimes, we come across the dirt, the grass, and say, who are these individuals, right? Man, I don't want to talk to these guys, right? We're going to talk about the other side. So we go from the other side to this side. And we talk about GTA and all those things, and which is beautiful things. We got the acronyms, 1HYE. But before we go any further, my name is Fahim, and who I had on my right?
Dante.
Patrick.
And we are introducing who, Patrick?
We are introducing Marvin Mitchell, Von Griggs, and David Couch. And all y'all part of GTA, right?
Gang tragedy awareness.
Okay, man, look, it's my partners, man, my homeboys, man. This is my brother from another man. I appreciate it. I want to cry because I know this history in the making, man. So
Yes, sir.
go ahead, man. Go ahead, DT. Say something, man, before because I talk. I'll take the whole 30 minutes. So I'll be out of pocket, but I don't get in.
This is a beautiful moment, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a blessing. And today's topic is the consequence of the street life, right? So, give us a little history about yourself, first of all, and we'll start with you, Marvin.
Okay. My name is Marvin Mitchell. I'm out of Sacramento. Come from the Meadowview community. In the street, young, reputation seeker, needed validation. Went looking in the street
Yes.
for that connection, and end up taking a man's life. End up taking the life of Bradley Hebert. People tell me not to say his name, but I do anyway, because when you really have remorse, you connect it to the truth, man.
Yes,
and when I was gang banging and doing everything that I was doing, I didn't have no fears then. I wasn't listening to what nobody was telling me then. But my conversation with God is deep, and so I'm at a place in my life where, man, I'm accountable for everything that I've done.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And being accountable for what I've done, I'm making amends out here, man. And I started a foundation called Gang Tragedy Awareness, where we change mindsets. We're about bringing awareness to not just who you think you harm, but all the peripheral victims that go untalked about.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is what we used to call my big homie, and I blame my time in prison for him because I try to follow everything that he was on, and,
Right.
and end up meeting in a level 4 penitentiary with him. On the same line, scared as all no way, and was glad he was who he was at the time.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
And so with that being said, man, we out here and we formed an alliance, much like what y'all doing now. Me and you walked the track. I remember our last day on the track. We was popping it about what we gonna do, man, and it's beautiful to see us out here doing it now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Vaughn, what's happening, man?
I'm just chilling.
All right.
I'm just chilling.
So what's going on?
Well, to tell you a little bit about me, former gang member, formerly on the bull crap, which cost me a lot of time in prison. It gave me a lot of time to think and to renew my thinking. Took a while, because at one time it wasn't no hope in getting out from my perspective. But finally it came. It's about what I did with myself inside there. I had to show change. And once I came to get that concept, it was like, this is my opportunity to go home.
Absolutely.
I got to seeing guys go home, and it was motivating. And so since then, I got to digging in on the work, going to the groups, attending groups with him, getting counseling from him, attending groups he was teaching, getting counseling from him to get my mind right. And I finally reached this level. So now I'm out here no longer being a liability to the community.
Most definitely.
Being an asset.
Asset. Definitely.
Like you said, we trying to change minds. Trying to get guys to make better choices, make better decisions. They always got the opportunity to make a good decision out of any situation. It's just on them.
Absolutely. And so who do we have here?
What's up, y'all? I'm David Couch from Sacramento, South Sacramento. We kind of had a similar story. I was, a troubled youth. I was a good kid. end up doing some bad things, you know what I'm saying? Because I fell into that fantasy of the streets, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, got into a lot of trouble, you know what I'm saying? Sentenced to 18 years. When I was 18, 19. A lot of trials and tribulations, you know what I'm saying? But God was good. God was working on me, you know what I'm saying? I started working on myself, mingling with solid brothers up in there, you know what I'm saying? Listening to positive things, and I started applying that, you know, little and surely but surely, you know what I'm saying? I started changing, and here I am, you know, changed man, and I, you know, just trying to give it back and teach, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of, you know, kids that was in my situation don't have to go through what I went through, because I learned the hard way.
Definitely.
You know,
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we had a young brother on season 3 from LA. He's an ex-LA gang member. And just for those who don't know, what's the different culture from LA and Sacramento? We hear it inside, you know, the joint. Down this way, we might be a little slower than LA, but from where you all grew up at, just to give a brief synopsis of how did the gang culture affect you all and your families growing up?
You want to answer? Go ahead.
Well, how did it affect my family? Well, it affected my family because I got in it, you know, and it affected them because of what they seen I went through, you know, getting kicked out of every school in the district, whole bunch of fights, getting shot when I was 17, 18. You know, mom's just watching that, you know what I'm saying, reaching out, but I just had moms though, but I was like, nah, I still, you know, went to the streets, my brother's on the streets, and but it affected them a lot though, because, you know, I'm a kid, you know what I'm saying, and now being a parent, I understand how they felt, you know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, I'm trying to help them, but they pulling away, and, you know, so, you know, I broke her heart, broke a few family members' heart, you know what I'm saying, but now, you know, it also affected my community, the things I did a lot of, you know what I'm saying, negative stuff, you know what I'm saying, violent stuff, and man, that's how it affected my my family personally. Some of the reasons.
Well, I grew up in Danger Island, and it was a lot of, you could say, bad characters.
Say Danger Island?
Danger Island.
What's that?
It's some apartments at the corner of Meadowview and Amherst.
In the 80s, it was one of the worst apartment complexes in Sacramento.
Okay.
And that's where he grew up.
Also known as The Rock.
The Rock.
And, you know, everybody out in the front selling, whether it was weed, whether it was wet, cocaine, heroin.
What is wet?
Sherm. Yeah. So being amongst that, bombs tried to keep me from that. And it lasted long enough till I got 16 and I got to seeing the money that can get made. My friends was having money, and I was into needing things, wanting things. I wanted the feelers. I wanted the lottos, you know. So it became more attractive to get inside of this, the drug game. But when my friends mostly get inside of the gang thing with the drug thing, and I followed suit, really. You know, with the older guys that was doing that, I admired them, admired the cars they had. I admired the women that liked them, and I wanted to be a part of that lifestyle.
Yeah. And for me, it's the most bizarre thing, because me getting in the gang, I didn't realize that when I took the life of my victim, I also murdered my relationship with my mom and everybody else that I loved. Doing all that time and then making that collect call, right? And then hearing my sister say, oh, she opened up her eyes for the first time today, but then she was dying that same day. And me being on that collect call saying, you have a collect call from her? It didn't care that she was on her last breath. And so it affected, I'm talking about how it affected me, but she came through those metal detectors, you know, and I wonder, did that give her cancer? That's on my conscience, that's on my heart. And so those are just some of the things that I deal with even today when I think about how I affected my family and my community and everything around me. This is my driving factor, the reason why I do what I do right now.
Most of that's powerful. That's powerful.
I want to, man, that was powerful. Because I was with you. when I was going through that. You took me back. I was with you. Me, you really talked about that.
Yes, sir. Your son died at the same time.
Yeah. So, I wanna speak on, right, the aha moment. Because we all, did things that we sit here and talk about all the things that we did, right? Because it's second nature, right? It's like dribbling the basketball, right? But I want to talk about that aha moment when it really hits you that, hey, I got to either pivot, if the Pistons got to swing, you know what I mean? When you took control and say, hey, you know what, I got to change. It ain't on nobody else. Because, we all got brought into something through collective effort. We wanted to be embraced. You just didn't get in the game. You had to be embraced by that game, right? So, we had to do certain things to get in. But I want to talk about the individual thing. Like, I got to a point in my life where something just clicked. What moment? It could be an incident, an environment, whatever.
Well, I know for me, it took at least 7 years of being incarcerated for me to be like, saying, hold on, man, like, let me try to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Just a number of things. Family, my mom, I had a daughter, and but I was messing with positive people though, you know what I'm saying? Some real individuals, and just talking the track, talking with solid people. Go back to your cell that night, I think about my day every day. You know what I'm saying? Think about conversations and shit. And I just figure out, like, you know what I'm saying, if I don't change, I'm gonna die or stay up in here forever. And I just started using my head, and I was like, you know what, you just gotta just do the right thing. You can't half step. You know what I'm saying? I knew, so I started putting it in motion. A lot of people didn't see it, but the seed was planted in my mind. And as time went on, it grew.
I know for me, that changing point, it wasn't one fell swoop. Like my success has not been a straight line, right? My path to success has been nothing like a straight line. But the thing is that when the denial started to wear off, when the drugs and everything in the penitentiary no longer did it, the alcohol didn't do it no more. When I stopped being high, I still had the problems I was running from. And so what I realized in those problems was that I had been romanced to sleep by the game, by the streets.
Wow.
You feel me? That it was all an illusion.
Yes.
And so little by little, everything that I believed that I was up under the illusion about started to peel off. All my ideas in the cell was bouncing off the walls and dying. I was dying not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. So I had to find out who I was in 3D. That's mind, body, and spirit, man. And I started to do this soul searching because my thing was, if I'm going to die in here, let me die with the knowledge.
Most definitely.
Let me die knowing. Don't let me die I don't know. So little by little, I was able to start to peel off all of that shit that I was up under as far as them illusions, what we think about the game, how we think the homie's going to fuck with us forever. And then you 16, 17 years in, you ain't got no mail from nobody that you claim to really deal with.
Exactly.
You ain't heard from nobody. Matter of fact, they out there backbiting and hating on you. Oh, you feel me? So when those illusions start to come out from up under me, when I start to get over those illusions, that's when I started to say, man, I got to change because I'm living, the real me wasn't getting no airtime. And he was dying, suffocating. I had this, I was finna die with that mask on. And so I had to take that mask off, and that's why I call myself Marvin Mitchell, because it peels off the layers of the illusion I was hiding up under. You feel me? And that's what that's about.
Definitely.
You want to get in on that?
Well, I just say my aha moment, it began when my co-defendant made it home. That's when I seen hope. That's when I seen all what I've been getting told. Von, quit being your worst enemy, because it's your conduct that's holding you back. They got laws that can benefit you. You've been there since a teen, and you just start changing so you can get home. So I'm thinking I've been doing so bad for so long. If they ever change something, it's gonna be so way down the line before they like, we'll let you out now. But it was like, no, you got to get to go in the groups. You got to go to classes. You got to get in control of your anger. You got to control of yourself. So as I more started participating in that, being around brothers like yourselves, that more and more wakened me up. I got to see more and more all my blind spots, and started seeing how I got to be accountable for me and quit making all these excuses and justifications for my conduct and my actions. And the more I learned about that, the more I came to get to renewing my thinking. You know what I mean? To be a man and get back to not having a problem forget being this gang member and the reputation I got. I got to get back to what's real, what's right, and that's being my mom's son, my sister's baby brother.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And get back to that reality and not that, like you said, the illusion.
I want to say this, right? What could each one of you brothers say, to the people that's going to see this podcast, right? Something positive where we can reach these youngsters so they won't continue to make early death decisions. Because a lot of times growing up, we don't think about the consequences of the street life. We don't think about how it's going to affect my mama, how it's going to affect the victim's family as well as the victims, how it's going to affect our community. So what can you brothers say, something positive, to try to deter these youngsters from going down that road or for thinking that way or for giving or giving them the awareness to, hey, think about, before you do this, think about who it's going to affect.
Man, I know for me, the biggest thing for me is when I'm dealing with the youth, I try to get them to understand that most of my partners died because at the end of the day, they didn't leave themselves a choice. And I try to put, because in this country, we not, as black men, we never taught the art or the mastery of thinking. And so that's why I say I'm into changing mindsets. Because if you don't change your mindset, don't nothing else matter. Exactly. You can give a cat a brand new apartment, you can give him a brand new whip, everything he need. But if he don't change this up here, then he's still poor, right? And so my thing is, I try to get youth to stop placing their worth in violence and to start putting their worth in the goals that they setting and accomplishing. Because that's what gave me real self-esteem. When I was going to school in the penitentiary, when I start passing them classes with A's and all that, that was real self-esteem, not what I would do to somebody. And so that's my biggest message. My biggest message is violence has no worth.
Exactly.
You at your lowest thought process when you're willing to use violence. That means that you lack the ability to think. Absolutely. And like I tell youngsters all the time, this is a Ferrari, but we drive it like a bucket. We put low octane gas in it, and I wonder why we ain't working at optimal level.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And so how do you call yourself a man if you're not willing to stretch yourself to find out your true capability? Until you do that, you can't call yourself a man. Exactly. And so that's what I'm into. I'm into, if we don't feel safe out here, then we need to start creating spaces where people could be great. And so that's what GTA does. We create spaces where people are able to be them, be great, and excel. So that's what I got to tell to the youth, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mar.
Next. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I would like to tell youngsters, and the youth and whatnot, be yourself. Don't get caught up in that fantasy, what you see on the internet, TV, movies, or whatnot, or just in the streets, period, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that, I know it's hard for the youth, you know what I'm saying? Because when they go outside, they go off what they see, you know what I'm saying? But what they seeing ain't real reality. Exactly. So that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Stay true to those who's true to you. You feel me?
Most definitely.
Family, that's your gang, really. You know what I'm saying?
That's your gang.
Your family, that's who love you and that's who's gonna be there for you. When you're down and out.
Exactly.
Not the streets.
Right.
Thank you, Couch.
Great.
Thank you.
When we talk about giving the youth something to grow on, I've learned to give them what I missed, what I didn't understand. That was self-discovery.
Yes.
And self-mastery.
Yes.
Right? To be able to dig deep inside myself to say, who am I? Where you trying to go? So now, when we mentor the youth, sometimes I have to be the big uncle. Sometimes you got to tell them, man, shut up, you're talking too much. And listen.
And listen.
And this is why. I'm changing this because I love you and I walk down that road. And if you don't listen, this is what's going to happen. So then we get into the lived and learned experiences. Only way I can give it to you because I lived it. I learned it. That was my results. 1/3 of 100 years in prison. Do you want that? Because your pocket's inside out.
Right.
You can't pay for a lawyer. You live with your mom and your daddy. You don't know how to pay rent. you don't understand life. So the best way to understand life is what? To dig deep inside yourself. Keep your ass in school. Get them grades up.
That's fine. That part.
Listen to your mama. Listen to your daddy, or those who giving you right guidance, proper guidance. You know, and that's what we all are doing. And I appreciate what you doing because I've been watching y'all. I've been watching.
Like we've been watching.
We've been watching. We've been watching and learning.
Constant state of learning.
I just want to give a shout out to y'all though. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, last I seen y'all, we was a part of a group. You know what I mean? Operation Transformation.
Operation Transformation.
Right. So you know, we stood tall. We did public speaking. Mitch brought me in to do what was that Galvin Club?
You did
I
your
walked
thing.
up in there. He wouldn't let me leave. I started talking. It was it. It was a wrap. But you know, the bottom line is, man, you know, you got to get back to your authentic self.
That part.
You know, we transcended and put on coats that didn't belong to us. Right, and warm. And then we went into discos that we had no business dancing.
Come on, man.
Like we was out of bounds. So once we took all those things off, right, and began to understand the nature of a thing, right, and to get back to your authentic self, because he knows himself, knows his Lord. If you don't know yourself, you ain't gonna know how to worship God, right? Because you don't know yourself. You just following the pattern. So I just say to y'all, man, you know, I have very little to say. I'm flabbergasted.
Very little to say.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. Okay, well, I will say this. The young man that we met outside Juvenile Hall, right? We got to be patient with him, right?
yeah.
The patience, because patience is knowledge. Because if you know a thing, you know it's going to take time. to
Come
develop,
on, man.
right?
Yeah.
So when we talk to them, man, we tell them, be patient. For sure. You know what I mean? It's going to happen.
It's a process.
All you got to do is listen.
Yeah.
You getting raw game.
Yeah.
Because 100 years that we do in GTA, as we call it,
Yeah.
we giving you raw game.
Yes, sir.
You can't tell me nothing. I can listen to you, but you can't tell me nothing about this walk of life because I done it. I'm giving it back to you to understand you don't have to do what I did. That's on you after that, pal. That's how I talk to him.
Yeah. I tell them all the time, man. I tell them, I say, man, you might have to run into the penitentiary with this information I'm giving you. Or you might take it in that pine box with you. But if you live long enough to chew on what I'm giving you, you'll see it's bulletproof and you're going to make it a part of your philosophy. Believe that. Believe that. It's going to grow. It's going to grow.
Cultivate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let me you finished the hockey?
No. I'm good.
Let me ask you this, brother. The remorse factor, right?
Yes, sir.
When I look at these youngsters today, right, they don't have no remorse. They don't have no emotions, right? So how can we convey that to them so they can start feeling and understanding? Because, see, if you can't feel, then I don't care if I blow your head off. I don't care how it's going to affect your family.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to get to back to see what we can make them feel, you know, feel that. Because I know how I was. I didn't care. I didn't feel anything.
Right.
If I did it, I did it. So what?
Yeah.
You know, so how can we get back to that? How
Well,
can we teach these youngsters
we
that?
made a big mistake. He made a big mistake, and the ones that came before him, when we took the neighbor out of the hood, we was left with just the hood, man. And like y'all was just now talking, you know, that guidance that you was talking about, with that stop being given the way that you was talking about, with that strong guidance, right? And so when you look at it, for me now, I'm just in a position where it's like, bro, I'm going to give the information. I'm going to continue to give the information. I might even have to show up at your funeral and give it to some people that's standing there praising you for dying the way you died. But the coldest part about it is we have to first be vulnerable ourselves. We have to show that, look, man, I'm going to give you permission to use all your other emotions. I'm going to show you that not just the anger is the acceptable thing in the ghetto. Right, because anger is the only acceptable emotion in the hood, right? So we use that as our number one go-to. But I'm gonna show you how to use. Look, if we having a conversation about being angry, that's nothing. But if we having a conversation about fear, now we having a conversation. Because most of my actions in the street was rooted in fear. I was doing things to other people out of fear of what they might do to me. So if you can get, if I'm willing to acknowledge that, then I'm giving permission. And that's all we can do is give permission through our lived and learned experience, right? Because you're an expert in your own experience. That's what we are at GTA, because we tell our stories authentically and not for glory.
Yes.
You hear me? And so when you allow yourself to be vulnerable and feel those other emotions, you'll give other people permission to be vulnerable as well. That's why I say we create those spaces.
Yes.
Outside from society that say, in here, you can cry and still be a man. Exactly. In here, you could tell me about your deepest fear and I ain't gonna change the way I look at you.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about for me, man. That's what we do at GTA.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Are you all having fun?
Man, just being in y'all presence. Hey, look, just being in y'all presence is a beautiful thing.
Hey, man, get a wristband.
Look, can I have one?
Come on, man. Get a wristband or something, man. Come on, man.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, man, hey, they fit your wrist too.
Man, look,
Get me one.
this on my wrist.
Find something what fit. Yeah,
I love it, man. Let me just say that I love what y'all doing. I've been watching y'all since I've been out. And, man, listen, what you really do is give people permission to go on a mission. When I got out and seen y'all, I said, okay, I can really do it. They doing it. And me and him talked and we continue to talk. Yeah. We may not always connect, but the heart is there. The intention is always going to guide you right. That's why I don't never worry about going wrong, because I'm moving in God time.
Exactly.
God do things on his time. We experience on our time. Yes. He already did what he did. You know what I mean? So we just experiencing. That's why he say, we just walking with it, because we just gonna. But see, now I'm at my authentic address. God hit me in the head with blessings. When I had my mask on, I was wondering why blessings would come to me. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about giving permission to be who you are, because everything that you have about you as an individual is a unique commodity waiting for the world to consume it. But if you don't ever discover who you are, guess what? We all miss out.
Hey, I just wanted to say, man, it's a pleasure being up here with all three of y'all. Y'all, you know. And I want to let y'all know, man, a lot
where you know us from?
I know you know. Oh yeah, I ain't said all that. Old Folsom, 3 buildings. You know what I'm saying? I know for sure y'all two was on the 5th tier. I was on the 4th. I think DT might have been on the 3rd somewhere. So, but at the same time, you know, just going to the yard and stuff, working out. You know what I'm saying? We just exchange game and real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was real positive, and a lot of cats I was on my level. We really admired y'all though. You feel me? And it was really. So when I seen when y'all got out, it touched my heart, y'all. Real shit. And I was like, oh, them brothers were solid. You know what I'm saying? I just remember, you know what I'm saying, every time it was always smiles, what's up, you know what I'm saying, power fist, all you know what I'm saying, always. Real positive stuff, you know what I'm saying, and I remember that, bruh. You feel me? Y'all, it was a good impression. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to let y'all know that, and I thank y'all, you feel me? Because it was brothers like y'all that I used to mingle with in the pen that helped me change my way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Just really chopping it up, walking them laps on some real stuff, not that bull crap.
And let me say too, man, is that y'all walking the things that y'all doing, man, and how y'all called us down here is really a blessing, because it shows other people that we not each other's enemies as black men. We kings, bro. You know what I mean? And this is the mentality shift that we need to have out here in society, bro. And I love y'all. This is Bay Area SAC Connection, man, and beyond. You know what I mean? Forever bulletproof love, man.
Call us up there now.
No, we gon' call y'all. We gon' call y'all up there. Believe that. This is never ending, never stopping, man. And we gonna find a way, man, to bridge the gap and do this work. Continue to do this work.
I just want to say one thing, man. I'm so glad you out, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you had a lot of love for you, man.
Yeah.
You know, we toiled and struggled, man. We needed you out. Now look at you.
Amongst kings.
And we all made it. We had no hope at first. We all made it. So it's a blessing that we all here.
It's a blessing. Every day. And we wake up.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, before we close out, we got to give a shout out to one of our funders, our only funder right now, which is great, which is Chevron. So we let them know, you know, they looked out for us. They keep us going. They believed in us. They believed in our mission. They believe in the things of what we see, what we do, what we trying to do. And it's all about the growth and development of us as human beings, as people, how we trying to, now I ain't gonna say trying, but we doing, sharing our ideas, sharing our perspectives on life.
On life.
And Marvin, you said something. You never know how and which way you would touch someone. And I've been home 5 years on the 13th of this month. I spoke at 6, maybe 7 funerals since I've been out.
Yeah.
And I still get phone calls, messages from people who heard
Yes,
the
sir.
words
Yes, sir.
come out my mouth, right?
Yes, sir.
And I tell them, you know, it wasn't me, it's God.
Come on, man.
To deliver the message, right? And when Dante asked a question, how do you convey to the youth of what has changed and how to feel? The only way you can do is give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do. Give it to them, show them, highlight,
Mm-hmm.
and say, believe in your authentic self. You're going to feel the rest.
Come on, man.
And I want to end it with that.
Yes, sir.
Just want to say thank you, brother. We truly appreciate y'all coming down, spending some time with us on this podcast. It's truly a blessing. Man, this is history.
Man, this is history for sure.
I don't care what nobody say. This is history.
No doubt.
Want to break them barriers.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Wanna break them barriers.
And there was a time we couldn't even think about getting together like this. Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
Okay, so we'll close out with, man, 100 years, man. Find us on 100 Years DLP on YouTube. Find us on 100 Years Enterprise. Also, go to our website, 100years.biz, right? And what am I leaving out?
I don't know.
Share, like, and
Find it.
subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Hey, I'm just flabbergasted, man. Like I say, man, these my brothers from
Yes,
another,
sir.
man.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, it feel comfortable being in y'all presence, man. It was great, man. And I know we got a lot more work to do.
Yes, sir.
Let me say
I
something.
just
'Cause
practice
he ain't-
being humble.
He not saying
You
it.
saying it all?
For months, man, we got to get them on the show.
Yes, sir.
For months.
Yes, sir.
And we said, season 4, we're going to make it happen.
Yes, I appreciate that.
So he been saying it. Let's get him on here. Let's get him on here. He said, 5 minutes. I talked to Marv. He said he coming. He bringing the rest of the crew.
Yes, sir.
Tell my man Chris I said what's happening. How Scratch doing?
Excellent.
Tell Scratch, my boy Scratch, and all of them I said what's up,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
connected.
and my boy Buff. How Buff doing?
He good. He just got out.
He out, Omar,
Yeah.
all them dudes, man.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
them I said what's happening.
Yes, sir.
And so we appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
GTA.
GTA.
And what's your name again?
Marvin Mitchell, GTA, Gang Tragedy Awareness.
Von Griggs.
David Couch.
So any last words for the people? Any last words for the people? Give it to them.
That we in the community, man. We working, and just contact GTA Marvin Mitchell on Instagram, Facebook, you know, and any other any time that you talking about building in our community. I don't care where it's at. I'll be there.
He got workout videos too, y'all. He ain't saying.
Hey, hold on. Hey, I seen you busted your britches, man. Doing your dashiris and.
Yeah. You know, I was up there.
Okay.
You know,
I had to get that on-
good.
I had to get that
I
on.
see. Yeah.
I love it.
100 Years Enterprise, thank you.
Yeah, and I know I'm kind of long, but what made you all somebody? I want to hear from you, Vaughn, to say, hey, we're going to start this organization. We know Marv, but what made you say, I want to be a part of that?
In our hearts, from what we experienced, from this lived experience, we came to see we had to give back.
That's what I'm talking about.
We got to bring awareness, not just glorifying what we did, but the awareness of how destructive it is, irresponsible, unhealthy. And Marvin had ideas. I had ideas. Marvin said, let's get out and go do this. So I'm like, thumbs up.
Clear
It's
thinking.
what we talking about doing. And we support, and we like to involve ourselves with everybody that's moving in this direction.
Yes.
That's in the spirit of cooperation to this type of work. Because we just keep an Operation Transformation in motion.
Cold thing
That's what
too
it's
is
doing.
that when I got to the penitentiary, he slid a book underneath my door. I told y'all I was scared as I don't know what. He slid a book underneath my door. That introduced me to God. That's my Bible to this day. You know
What
what
book
I mean?
was that?
Conversation with God.
Okay.
Man, it's deep. You know what I mean? It's a deep book, and in the middle of all the chaos of me adapting to the penitentiary, I was able to find comfort in that book, and that's what started me to thinking on another level, even while I was in the penitentiary selling dope and doing everything else I was doing.
I'm gonna say one thing out that book that applies to a lot of things in my life, and sometimes how I deal with people. It's the same thing what we're doing right now. It's like God said, when you're having problems and issues with different things, this is one question you gotta ask: what would love do now?
What would love do now?
What would love do now?
What would love do
And
now?
we doing it. We love
And we
our
doing
people.
it.
Yeah.
It's showing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are 100 Years Enterprise. And you are
GTA,
GTA,
expert.
Gang Tragedy Awareness Experts.
That's
Gang
what I'm
Tragedy
talking
Awareness
about.
Expert.
That's what I'm talking about.
Consequence of the Street Life. Season 4, episode 2.
Subscribe to 100 Years DLP, 100 Years .biz is our website, 100 Years Enterprise on YouTube. Stay tuned, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned.
And we out.